Hi everyone, we are out in nature today because we are going to be climbing the easternmost Munro. This is my first ever Munro. Gus is going to be showing us how exactly to climb Munros or just walk up them.
So we're standing at the base of a mountain. Mountain's called Mount Keen. It's about 946 meters high. Yeah, we're going to eat lunch at the top.
Connor, how are you feeling about climbing the Munro today?
I'm not going to lie to you, I'm pretty keen.
Have you climbed many Munros before?
This will be my first.
So we're just doing our final prep before we leave.
Closed.
Here's a checklist for things you can kill while driving here.
We get to walk up a river for 5 or so kilometers, and then it's up through a valley and then to the top of this very keen mountain here.
Wait, is this the biggest Munro?
Biggest Munro in this area. It's the only Munro in this area.
When anyone ever asks, I climbed the highest Munro in this area.
So the rules regarding trespassing in Scotland, they're a lot more relaxed than they are in England. Technically, you can cross through any piece of land that you want, including private property, as long as you're not breaking certain rules. So at the moment, we're just walking to the mountain itself. It's about a 5-mile walk. Apparently, we're on the mountain already, but I'm not quite sure how that works. We've got a bit of a dilemma. There's 2 roads.
That's fine.
And we're not sure which one to take. Do we follow the river or do we go towards the hills? We've decided that we're just gonna follow other people. That's a little snake squiggling along.
Yeah.
Right.
Glad where we're having lunch.
Nothing can stop us now. Out of the end, there's a fire burning for you.
So you might be able to see the mountain kind of behind me. That's where we're going to be going. There's a path that goes up it. Apparently it takes about 3 hours to get all the way up. The sun is shining bright. For Scotland is actually quite hot. I'm just so physically unfit that I am constantly lagging behind these guys. So every park or field in the UK would have some sort of weird structure where you can perform animal sacrifices or do some pagan worshipping. This is similar to that, but it actually has a cross on the top, so I'm not kind of accurate there. I think it's because Britain was a pagan country in the past, Vikings and Druids and all that stuff. So usually Gus has to use a map in order to navigate. However, Mount Keen has a very clear trail. There's also a bunch of other hikers going the same route. Gus, how does this compare to your other hikes?
Yeah, it's good.
Why are you not more keen about this hike, Gus?
I'm very keen about this hike. The landscape here is sort of, you've got this roving river winding down all the way, the sort of opus of the valley. It's a U-shaped valley, and
sheep.
There's also sheep.
Sheep too.
A tiger beetle, a green tiger beetle we saw.
What's been your favorite animal that you spotted?
Actually saw 2 red squirrels.
I was also very excited to see the 2 red squirrels, indigenous squirrel to the area. The grey squirrels were imported, and then they ate too much food, so the red squirrels got ousted because they're smaller than the grey squirrels.
Ibrahim, how do your legs feel right now?
I liked it if we only just did the flat stuff, but now there's an incline and it's a bit rough on my legs and my hips and my glutes and my pelvis. It is beautiful, but I don't think it's my cup of tea. My cup of tea is having a cup of tea while sitting down. Gus is very into this stuff, and I enjoy seeing him enjoy something, if that makes sense.
Is there anything that I could do to make your experience more enjoyable today?
Down, sugar, like cakes, that kind of. So I think this water is drinkable, but you want to try and get as high up the mountain or the valley as possible, because you risk having parasites because sheep have hung around in the water or something.
When I was little, there was a hill behind my house, and because my gran had a sheep farm, I really liked sheep, and there were sheep on the hill, and I told my gran that they were my sheep, and she got me binoculars so I could watch them.
Gus bought himself binoculars.
Because he likes birds.
No, that wasn't the only reason.
I've just learned that the peak is actually behind there. I'm not too keen on Mount Keen anymore.
You're a night gonna light up the room. There's a fire burning for you. I feel it heat. There's still a chance for us down here in the out in the ember.
A small man with a very large mountain to climb.
God, we're gonna drink natural stream 100% goodness. Hey, that's pretty good.
Nej, det är 29 cents.
So what I did was we drank juice yesterday to get some bottles, and I thought it would be fun to not rinse the bottle and just let the juice remnants add to the flavour here. I've been getting slated for it.
Is that because all our water supply just tastes like rank now?
That's not true, because I brought water as well. And I cleaned it out and I had it in the fridge overnight, so it was nice and crisp.
I'm getting dragged up the mountain because I'm holding everyone back. So yeah, I'm enjoying climbing my first mountain. Here we are at the peak of Mount Keene, and the
Sitting
boys
in a hole.
Yeah, we found a nice troll hole to protect us from the weather.
Look at the weather outside.
Yeah.
It's safe in our troll hole.
It's very windy and terrifying outside. That was a peak there, we touched it. There was a lot of fake peaks, so because it was so misty, we would get to a peak and then realize that this wasn't the peak and that there's in fact another peak.
We nearly turned back 33 times.
To the peak. We made it on Mount Keene. We were keen to get on Keene, but now we're on.
I'm very proud of my boys for making it this far. I'd like to thank Connor for driving us here. I'd like to thank Ibrahim for waking up. I'd like to thank me for organising the trip. Can I get a cheers?
Cheers. So boys, how are we feeling? Quite the way down there.
It's a lot faster on the way back down, that's for sure. I'm bloody sick of this walk, man.
Oh man, my feet hurt, man.
My feet hurt, it's just missed, man. I want to go home to my wife Shannon, man. I miss her, man.
I love Shannon.
Can you hear? Shannon! I'm very happy that we managed to get to the top. Now we're just descending back down into the valley. The mist is clearing, so it's gonna be beautiful again soon.
Oh, misty eye of the mountain below. I would highly recommend doing this mountain if you can. Gus was saying that it's quite an easy climb. It was quite tough for me just because I haven't done much hiking or going up Monroe's in the past, but I think for a beginner, if you want to challenge yourself, I think it's certainly quite good. Make sure you have someone with you. Top is quite misty and I think it's quite easy to get lost. These boulders are here because the mountains are essentially just rock, and if it wasn't covered in shrub, it would just look like that. So this is like an evil Mount Doom style mountain, and it's just, if it weren't for the shrubs, it wouldn't look as gorgeous as it does.
Brave men set off in Connor's car and burnt fossil fuels to allow us to reach this beautiful destination. Some of us had strengths, such as Connor having a car. Others had weaknesses, such as me packing all my packed lunch with nuts in so that Ibrahim wouldn't have the calories required.
What did you say? Alright, so this is the end of our trip. We're leaving Old Keene Mountain.
We'll miss you.